When we began our experiment, we searched for the finest and most traditional cluster bomblets in the world. We found a wide array of impressive choices. This is the Blue 36, one of the deadliest sub-munitions. This unit carries a legacy of design innovation and widespread destruction. This is the Blue 97. Each one contains steel case fragmentation and explosives to defeat soft targets, and a conical explosively formed penetrator for hard target lethality. These are, in fact, exact replicas of the cluster bomblets. We made this Blue 97 out of a shampoo bottle, an oregano spice cap, and a Red Bull can. This Blue 36 was made from the mold of an actual shell purchased on a military auction site. The seller said the sub-munition would be a good novelty item for one's living room table. We made dozens of these bomblets, and then we headed for the playground. We conducted our experiments in playgrounds within the great state of Virginia, headquarters to numerous American weapons manufacturers. One of the playgrounds was located in Norfolk, Virginia, home to the world's largest naval base. The other two were located in Virginia's capital city of Richmond. At each playground, we laid out our bombs amid the slides, swing sets, and jungle gyms. We positioned various cameras to secretly record all the proceedings. Then we waited for the children to discover our objects. Cluster bomblets are remarkably resilient. If they fail to explode on impact, and millions have failed, the bombs lay in wait, sometimes for years, ready to explode at any moment. The slightest touch from a curious animal, say a little boy or a girl, can set off an explosion. In our first recorded scene, our subject is a girl you see here in the top left corner of the frame. There are bomblets on the ground. Will she see them? And if so, what will she do? Evidence indicates that unsuspecting children from around the world are attracted to these objects. We hope to discover whether our American children would share such a peculiar attraction. As you can see, the girl sees the bomblets and simply dances around them. This boy is our next subject. He sees something, leans down to the ground, and picks up a stick. He never notices the bomblets. At this point in our investigation, we wondered whether our bomblets might not be visually striking enough for the more sophisticated American child. This, however, would not prove to be the case, for we soon observed the same boy and girl playing together. Suddenly, the boy sees something. What is it? He goes over to investigate, finds a bomblet, and immediately throws it away. And then another one, and then another. It was interesting for us to observe how one child introduces the object to another. The boy had been throwing the bomblet at a girl, and she will, in turn, examine the bomblet herself. Here, in another part of the playground, we discover these two boys have found the Blue 97 model. They played with these bomblets for a long period of time. Indeed, we soon discovered that the American children we watched were attracted to these cluster bomblets, extremely attracted. We found that the children performed an impressive array of activities with the bomblets, actions which we have thoroughly captured and catalogued. Picking up bomblets, examining bomblets, running with bomblets, gathering bomblets, stomping bomblets, smashing bomblets, throwing bomblets, pouring dirt on bomblets, digging with bomblets, playing on the slide with bomblets, tearing apart bomblets, kicking bomblets, stacking bomblets, shearing bomblets, 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 pawing other toys, other toys, other toys.
A 6-year-old boy stood on a road in front of a friend's house. He picked up a cluster bomblet. It looked like a perfume bottle, he said. He threw the object and it exploded. The boy suffered shrapnel wounds to the stomach, bladder, left lung, and right hand.
I was with 3 other girls from my family. I found the thing and I started playing with it. I didn't know exactly what it was. I dropped it and it exploded. I don't remember what happened next.
He found a cluster bomblet in his garden and picked it up. 4 fingers and a huge chunk of his right arm were ripped away. Fragments of the bomb, powerful enough to pierce tank armor, also lodged in his chest and bowels.
Hassan and a few of us were playing hide and seek next to the house. When Hassan went to hide, he found a bomb, and he thought it had already exploded. He brought it back to the house. When he was alone, he threw it, and it exploded.
Khodir sat on a tree branch outside of his neighbor's home, dropping pine cones on his brother Rami, standing below. Rami picked up something to throw back at his brother. Someone yelled at him to put it down. Rami raised his hand to throw it away. The dud exploded when his hand was behind his ear.
I went to the bushes near my grandfather's house. I saw a beautiful yellow toy, which looked like a bell. It was like the bell that our teacher used at school. I picked it up and started to play with it in order to make it ring. I pulled a piece of string that was hanging at the top. There was an explosion. I fell down. When I woke up, I saw I was in the hospital. I had terrible eye pain. I could not open my eyes.
A boy was sitting on a hip-high wall watching a bulldozer clear rubble when the machine bumped into a tree. A cluster bomblet dropped from the branches, exploded, and shrapnel cut into his head and neck, killing him.
We all went to a public park to celebrate Ahmed's 5th birthday. Once we got to the park, we prepared food and a birthday cake with 5 candles. He went to play. We heard an explosion. My wife screamed, "That's my son."